Today's chapter is work design and measurement, and today we will not finish the total chapter. We will finish only 50% of the chapter, rest 50% will be content of our coming lecture. So you can easily understand work design. What is work design? The word is present. All right. Maybe we can update it later.
স্যার আই এম অলসো প্রেজেন্ট। আমার এখানে অনেক সাউন্ড তো তাই মাইক অফ ছিল, খেয়াল করিনি।
I see.
ওকে স্যার।
Okay, we'll update. So work design. Some of the concepts of work design you learn from the human resource management course. Say for example, job rotation, job, specification, job, what we call, so it is not the today's lecture. This is second part, maybe mistaken. I need to open first part. 15. Maybe you have learned something about work design from your human resource management course, for example, job rotation, job enlargement, job enrichment. So these are the three terms you may know from your human resource management course. Do you have any idea about job enlargement? What is this? Do you have any idea? Rohit, do you have any?
Someone's someone's specific work, sir.
So job enlargement, here it gives giving a worker a larger portion of the total task. And this is also known as horizontal loading. Example will make it more clear. Say for example, you are working as a marketing officer, and the company has decided that the company will abolish some positions. Say for example, market research officer was also a position. The company is going to abolish this position from the company or organizational structure or organogram. You are a marketing officer and the top management of the company has given more responsibility, more task of the research officer to you. So as a marketing officer, you will carry out sales and also you will carry out the sales research job. So this is horizontal loading, or you have given more jobs than your previous original position. This is known as the job enlargement. Job enlargement ultimately is a job design which is applied when a company abolishes some position or there is a company restructuring. This is also important for the job operations manager, because operations managers sometimes need to abolish some positions, restructure the job, and in that case, they redistribute the jobs of the abolished position. That is known as job enlargement. And if you compare with the job enrichment is increasing responsibility. Here the total task increasing. Here, increasing responsibility for planning and coordination tasks by vertical loading. So what does it mean? The company will give you more decision-making for planning and coordination tasks. It's not the task that you will carry out. Rather, you will coordinate and you will plan. And especially job enrichment is referred to as the challenging jobs. Giving challenging jobs to the employees is known as job enrichment. And challenging jobs is usually given to the employees for his promotion or upgradation. That means job enlargement is giving more jobs, and job enrichment means giving more planning, coordination, and also enrichment options. Or we refer to as the giving challenging jobs. Planning and coordination is challenging. And the example will make it clear. Say for an example, you are working in Bangladesh at this moment. More concrete example is that BAT or British American Tobacco Bangladesh. Their management system is that you can work here. Sometimes you may be transferred from here to another country. So when an employee, a Bangladeshi origin employee, is transferring from here to Canada or United States, it is challenging for him. This is job enrichment. And it is also upgradation of your job, isn't it? So job enrichment means giving challenging jobs as a part of promotion or upgradation to your existing position. This is also known as vertical loading. Vertical loading. And operations manager think of the job enrichment, job enlargement, job rotation issues. Whether the operations manager, operations officer, production officer will be shifted from one position to another position for better performance. That is also one of the components of the job rotation. And in today's organizations, they use self-directed team. Groups empowered to make certain changes in the work process. Maybe you can remember the definition of quality circle. What is quality circle? Can you remember? What is quality circle? Quality circle means that a few members will be there in the operations department. They will check the quality. If any problem arises, they will give the solution to the problem. And they are also known as the self-directed team. Self-directed team groups empowered to make certain changes in their work process. That means in today's world, employees are empowered to make their own decisions, even to shut the production line, even in open on the holidays, for the betterment of the organizational performance. And the teams are being empowered in today's world is known as the self-directed team. And when you are designing a job, you will take care of the ergonomics. Ergonomics means that incorporation of human factors in the design of the workplace. Human factors, for example, when I am delivering lecture, what should be the perfect sitting position? Will I sit on the chair, or I will deliver the lecture standing, etc. So ergonomics ultimately deals with the human factors. Whether sitting in the chair is best, whether a computer, laptop use is best, or whether computer use is best, or whether standing is better. Say for an example, in garments manufacturing company, sitting is better. But when you are thinking about the sweater manufacturing company, sweater, winter dress, they work by standing. So a standing position is better for improved productivity. So ergonomics is a wing of operations management, especially handled by the industrial engineers. Under the production department, there is a separate wing. The name of the wing is industrial engineering. The industrial engineering department is always work to incorporate the human factors to improve productivity. So workplace safety is also one of the factors of ergonomics. Your health issue is also one of the factors of ergonomics. So if while you are working, you should make sure that there will be no health hazard and you will be healthy even after going back. When you are using your chair, there will be no backpack. It is also ergonomics, human factors. This is also known as human factors engineering. So operations manager plays a role to design the job. Maybe you are thinking that job enlargement, job rotation, job enrichment, these are the human resource management functions. This is also true. This is also true because human resource department ultimately self-directed teams. Human resource department is a staff function. They collaborate with the other departments to improve the productivity of the company. Job enlargement is the job of the HR department, but operations manager is also involved with making such decisions. Job rotation, it is done by the human resource department of a company. However, job rotation will be there within the company operations. Job enrichment, it is also transferring for a challenging job done by the HR department, but maybe the position is in the operations department. So although the principles followed by the HR department, but operations department may have some roles in job design. One example is given here. Johnsonville Sausage designs workplace to facilitate employee involvement in its entire business. And they have redesigned the system. The redesign includes number one, it hires members as opposed to employees. Usually, the companies are hiring employees, but they say that you are not the employee, you are the member of our company. Supervisors are referred to as the coaches or team leaders. Usually we say production supervisor, but they say you are the team leader or you are a coach. Work unit organize teams rather than departments. Usually in our organigram, we say that production department, operations department, accounting department, finance department, marketing department. But in today's world, they organize as team because team has the options to contribute to the other department teams, production team. And if you can remember the definition of a high performance work system, what is high performance work system? Maybe you are a finance major, but you are helping the marketing department. Maybe you are marketing graduate, you are helping the HR department to improve the productivity of the HR department. So this is a high performance work system. Only you will be expert on one field, but you may have some expertise on the other field. In that case, you can also contribute for the other department. This is known as the high performance work system. And high performance work system usually is team based, not the department based. So the Johnsonville also uses the teams rather than departments. From the time of hire, all members are required to learn about the entire business. So entire business means that you will not only know about the marketing, although you have been appointed for the marketing department, rather you will know about the accounting operations. So when the company gives more opportunity to know the other departments, the employees are motivated. From the first 6 months of employment, all members are required to attend a series of four-hour workshops that introduce them to company history, culture, teamwork, diversity, financial management, including how the work of teams affect the cash flow and profits. So that means overall training, including the company introduction and even the most sensitive part, cash flow and profits. You will have the knowledge about those issues because you are not the employee, you are the member of the company. Production teams hold daily meetings prior to the beginning of the shifts to discuss issues of concern. So it is also, I was working in a Japanese company, and I found that before doing the job, before starting the job, they meet together before starting, prior to beginning of their shifts or work. Because if there is a concerning issue, difficult issue, problematic issue, that can be discussed before starting of the job. And if the problem arises, the solution becomes much easier. So production teams hold daily meetings prior to the beginning of the shift to discuss issues of concern. The organizational culture of empowerment gives members the authority to shut down the production line at any time if they observe something that doesn't appear to be correct. That is self-directed team. Self-directed team. The organizational culture of empowerment gives members the authority to shut down the production line at any time if they observe something that doesn't appear to be correct. And the result is profitability. And there, the applications of this approach, the applications of empowered approach gives profitability, more profitability. More profitability means more productivity in the company. So job design is important, and designing the job in such a way that help improve profitability, help improve, achieve the goal of the company, help improve the efficiency of the employees. Job design is very important issue for the operations manager. Every time must check whether new design will be effective for improvement of the productivity and at the end of the year, the profit of the company. So industrial engineers do some steps for the safety of the workers, health consciousness of the people who are working in the company, and it is known as the ergonomics. Ergonomics is the study of people at work that aims to reduce the physical stress. That means standing is better, so it will reduce stress, or sitting is better, so sitting. Chair you're using should be comfortable chair. Physical stress reduces physical stress and resulting in injuries. So when you are working with machines or dangerous machines, some special measures by the operations manager can save you from any accident, resulting injuries and associated with the working, such as overuse injuries, poor posture, more serious musculoskeletal disorders. Ergonomics aims to reduce such injuries by designing workspaces, tools, tasks, and equipment that help maintain the physical health of the workers. So, ergonomics, also there is a separate wing in the company known as industrial engineering. They study about the position. And ergonomics, an example is given here, but I forget to include that in my slides. Just a moment. The example will make it more clear.
Sir, there is also something called industrial psychology, which takes into the psychology of workspace. Is that also important in job design?
Industrial psychology. And the importance of psychology has increased manifold, because maybe one psychology course is offering for you, isn't it? Psychology course you are completing during your graduation. Industrial psychology
Yes, sir, there is a
very
course.
important. Very important. Today's world, psychologists are employed by the companies to deal with the personal issues, especially psychologists deal with the mental issues. Now, ergonomics deals with the especially physical disorder, physical. So for example, this picture will make it clear. So when you are sitting on a chair, the design of the chair is ergonomics. Design of the chair, the height of the chair, it is ergonomics. Keyboard placement, it is ergonomics. Placement of mouse, this is ergonomics. Height of the table, ergonomics. Height of the monitor, ergonomics. Arms and wrist angle, how you will put your arms. Viewing distance, what is the distance between the computer and also your eye? Document holder, distance, that is also distance. Monitor angle, it will be straight or there will be a angle. So workstation, components of a comfortable workstation. That means you must make the workplace workstation comfortable. That is known as ergonomics. And comfortable doesn't mean that it is only comfortable for you. Comfortable also means that your productivity will improve. Ultimate target is improving the productivity. And strategically, or strategic operations management, when we are talking, is increasing the profitability of the company. Are you all right?
Ji, sir.
That's ergonomics. And this is industrial psychology is different too. Ergonomics or industrial engineering and industrial psychology is totally different. Industrial engineering deals with improving productivity, and industrial psychology deals with the mental issues.
Mental issues.
Whether you are mentally fit for doing job, whether you are feeling stress, mental stress, not the physical one.
Ji,
So,
sir. Thank you.
and these are the job redesign tools usually used by the operations manager. And the job redesign tools includes: number one is method study, number two is motion study, number three is time study. Method study means that how you are doing the job. Can you change the method to improve output? There is method study. Industrial engineers under the operations manager do this method study, or the better way of doing the job, or revealing a better way of doing the job. That is method study. How you are doing the job. They will try to bring out the best method to produce a product or doing the job that will ultimately improve productivity. So operations manager, industrial engineer are concerned with the productivity improvement. Productivity improvement means that more output, more sales. Product improvement means that more output, more sales, more profit ultimately. And if you link with the stock change or investors, then productivity means improving profit, sales, improving profitability, improving the stock price. So method study means you will study the method of doing the job and you will try to improve the method of doing the job. And motion study means human motion, whether you will just sit or stand still, or you should move, or say for example, you need raw materials. Will you take the raw materials from the other station, or the raw materials will be in your hand? That is the motion study. Human movement. And finally, time study. Time study means that how long does it take to finish a product, or how long does it take to finish a part. Say for example, in garments manufacturing, cutting section, sewing section, and finishing section. Cutting section, if you look into cutting section, then how long does it take to cut a part by an employee? Total, how long does it take to finish a garment? So time study ultimately indicates how long does it take to produce a product. Are you with me? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Cynthia,
yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what we are going with? we are dealing about the
Method study, how we can reveal a better method.
yeah, good. So we are ultimately dealing with the job design. Job design. And there are several tools of job design. The tools are, number one is method study, number two is motion study, number three is time study. So now method study. Method study often called method analysis or method engineering, is the systematic recording and critical examination of existing and proposed ways of doing work in order to, so you will also measure the existing way, and you also apply the proposed way of doing the job in order to develop and apply easier and more effective methods and to reduce costs. Reduce cost means what? It is also improving productivity. If you can, the cost is the input. If you can reduce the input, then your productivity will. So method study will help you to improve productivity, and the productivity improvement can be done in two ways. Number one, increasing the output with the same amount of input. Say for example, your output, you are an officer, your output is 100, and for a new method, your output has increased to 120. And your input, if I say that your salary is the input, so your salary will remain same. 100 divided by your salary, say for example 100. Productivity is 1. And if your salary remains same and productivity improves for better methods, 120. Output is 120. Input is same, 100. So 120 divided by 100 means 1.2. 1.2. So productivity improves. This is one way. Another way is reducing cost. Reducing cost, maybe when you are doing the job, it took 5 minutes. Now there are some steps that reduce, and your method has become easier, and you can do the same job at 5 minutes. What will happen? Your output may same, but input is reducing. The productivity will improve, isn't it? Productivity will improve. You can analyze the methods to reduce cost or increase productivity. It is used to improve process and procedures, plant layout, design of plant and equipment, to reduce human factor and fatigue, use of materials, machines, manpower, and to develop better physical and working environment is overall direct to improve productivity. Ultimately, method study means studying about the existing method and proposing a new method for productivity improvement. It is method study. And then motion study, systematic study of the human motions. So now you are just sitting, but in few days ago you couldn't do the job by sitting. You need to take the materials from the other source. So you have to move from here to there. Systematic study the human motions used to perform an operation, an important avenue for productivity improvement. Also, why you will do the motion study? To improve the productivity. And how you can improve productivity? To eliminate unnecessary motions, to identify the best sequence of motions for maximum efficiency. So whether standing is better, sitting is better, whether movement is better or not, you can decide, and it will ultimately improve the productivity. And productivity can be improved by eliminating unnecessary motions and identifying the best sequence of motions for maximum efficiency. That means motion study means your motion, whether you will be in your seat or you will have some movements to improve the productivity. And time study means that you will analyze how long does it take to finish a job. How long does it take to finish a job? And that is known as the standard time or standard minute value. And time study is ultimately work measurement. Same slide. Time study is ultimately known as work measurement. Work job design is over. Now we are going to discuss about the work measurement. Work measurement determines how long it should take to do a job. If it is garments production, how long does it take? One hour. 1 hour is the work measurement. If you are going to know the time takes for finishing a part component, say for example, cutting part, cutting section, sewing, finishing. So how long does it take to cut a product? How long does it take to sew a product? How long does it take to finish a product? That is ultimately work measurement or time study. And we use the word stopwatch. Why we use stopwatch? We use stopwatch because time study is done using a stopwatch. How long does it take to finish cutting? You have to use a stopwatch. First time it takes 5 minutes, second time it takes 4 minutes, third time it takes 3 minutes, fourth time it takes 2 minutes. So the average time is 4 minutes. Say for example, so stopwatch, you are using a stopwatch to study time. And the development of a time standard based on observations of one worker taken over it. So when you are doing a time study to know the standard time to produce a product, you need to know observations of one worker taken over a number of times. So when you are going to study time, you will choose a worker and you will instruct him or her to do the same job time and again over a number of cycles, time and again. And then you can know what is the real or standard time to produce a product or to produce a component product. And there are 4 steps of work measurement or time study. The 4 steps are: number 1, define the task to be studied and the information the worker will. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Cynthia?
Yes, sir.
So what we are discussing now, we are discussing about the time study. Time study. Time study means what? Who can tell me what is time study?
So measuring the time, how long it takes to finish a job for an employee.
So how long does it take to finish our job? Good. Thanks for them. So development of a standard time. Development of a standard time based on observations of one worker taken over a number of cycles. So how can you know what is the standard time of a worker? You can know after taking several observations of that employee. Cutting time. What is the standard cutting time? So you will choose a worker and you will instruct him to do the same job few times. That is known as the observations. One worker over a number of cycles. So how many time or how much time does it take to finish a job? Number of cycles. First cycle, it takes 4 minutes. Second cycle, it takes 3 minutes. Next cycle, it takes 5 minutes. Next cycle, it takes 5 minutes. So total 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 4 divided by 4. You will get the standard time. So there are several steps of time study. This is very common, and all the organization all over the world use time study to measure the standard time, because standard time is applied to calculate the labor cost of production. How much is the cost of production? They ultimately apply the standard time. They check what is the standard time. And if you know the standard time, then you can multiply the standard time by the money or per minute
Per unit cost.
production cost. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So the steps includes: number 1, define the task. Say for example, we have defined that we will measure the standard time of cutting. Number one job is to define the task to be studied. Which task you are going to study? Cutting. Then determine the number of cycles to observe. Second step is how many times you will repeat the job for an employee. One worker taken over a number of cycles. How many cycles you are going to do to know the standard time? That is determine the number of cycles, and usually the operations manager take the number of cycles based on experience. However, today we will know what is the standard output to know the standard time. What is the standard output? So we will determine the number of cycles required to conclude a standard time. And finally, time the job and rate the worker performance. After knowing the time, then you will adjust with the worker's performance. In my classroom, I know what is your performance, what is your grade. Some students are A, some students are B, some students are C. So the operations
আপনার
manager
কথাটা একটু
also
কেটে
know
কেটে
the worker's performance. Sorry.
স্যার আপনার কথাটা মাঝে মাঝে একটু কেটে কেটে আসতেছে প্রবলেম হচ্ছে শুনতে
Really?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, একটু মানে বোঝা যায় এবার অনেক আটকায়।
Maybe because of internet problem. I could
জি স্যার।
internet connection from Wi-Fi to cell phone. Just a moment. Observe few minutes, and if the same
Okay, sir.
problem is occurring, then we will change the internet. So determine the number of cycles to observe. So how many times you will repeat the job? That is known as the number of cycles. And then you will multiply by the time with the worker's performance. Every employee, you know, your performance I know. Because I am gonna grade you. I know your performance. Operations manager also know about the worker's performance. And after knowing the worker's performance, you can compute the standard time. We are going to show you how to calculate the standard time. Compute the standard time. Now we are going to know the number of observations. How you will know? How many times you will repeat the job? It is known as number of observations. In other words, this is known as the number of samples. In other words, this is known as the number of cycles. Are you getting the point? What is number of observations, number of samples, or number of cycles?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how you can know what is the number, how many times you will repeat the job? You will use this formula. You will use this formula. This is, you know, ZS divided by AX bar whole square. This formula will be used when the accuracy will be in percentage. Say for example, you are expecting that 10% error will be there. 10% error of average you are expecting. Then when you are expecting a error rate in percentage, we will apply this formula. But when the error expectation not in percentage rather than in, you know, number, amount. So for example, you're expecting that we are calculating a standard time. You're expecting that the standard time will be 0.5 minutes deviated or 0.5 minutes error from the average. When an amount will be declared rather than percentage, 5% deviation, 6% error, percentage other than percentage, then we'll use this formula to know the number of observations. Z is divided by E. E is the expected amount of error. 0.5 minutes, 5 minutes error. whole square. All right. This formula will be used when you need to know the accuracy in percentage. And Z here means number of normal standard deviations needed for desired confidence. And when you are usually doing a research or doing any job that is based on the samples, we use a confidence level. And confidence level may be 90%, 95%, 95.5%, 98%, 99%. If it is 90%, you are confident about 90%, then your Z value will be 1.65. When your confidence will be 95%, your Z value will be 1.96. When your confidence level will be 95.5%, the Z value will be 2. When the confidence level will be 98%, Z value will be 2.33, 99%, 2.58. This is the statistical value, normal probability distribution. And this value is developed by the statistician, and this value, there is a chart of Z value. And S is the standard deviation. Now, you do not know the N, but how you will know the standard deviation? Because standard deviation depends on the mean average, and you do not know about the X bar, because you are going to know the N. In that case, how you will get the S and the X bar? S standard sample deviation. Before going to know the ultimate number of cycles or the repetitions, you will take some samples, few, 2, 3, 4, and you will calculate the average sample mean, and then you will calculate the standard deviation of those 3 or 4 observations by using those sample standard deviation, sample average. You will calculate the number of observations. Here, the example. Come to this example. A time study analyst wants to estimate the time required to perform a certain job. A preliminary study yielded a mean of 6.5 minutes. This mean or average means that you have taken few samples and you have calculated the average and the standard deviation, and you have calculated few. You have taken few observations and you have calculated the standard deviations, and it is 2.1 minutes. The desired confidence is you are confident that you are going to calculate, you are confident that your average and the standard deviation will be right this amount, and you are confident about 95%. 95% confident. How many observations will be needed if the desired maximum error is 10% of the sample mean? 10% means that the error that you are going to calculate will be around 10%. Or here, if you look at here, A is referred to error of average. Error of average. You are thinking that your error will be 10%. 10%. Here it says 10%. Example, 10% of the sample mean. And second approach, when this is in percentage, 2 formula. One is this formula will be used when you have percentage, and this formula will be used when there will be an amount. This formula when the desired accuracy in a time. The amount and time is same here because we are going to calculate standard time. That's why we specifically say that it is time. And you are expecting that the error will be 1/2 minute. 1/2 minute means 0.5 minute. So can you calculate the number of observations you have to take to know the standard time?
Yes, sir.
So please tell me, what is the number of observations? Here, when there is a percentage, then you will use this one formula. This formula, Z is divided by AX bar whole square. Z is divided by AX bar whole square. So use this formula. Z means here your confidence level is 95%. At 95% confidence level, the Z value is 1.96.
1.96%.
95% is equivalent to 1.96. So Z, then S the standard deviation. Standard deviation is 2.1. So 1.96 will be multiplied by 2.1, and the result will be divided by AX bar. A is 10%. 10% is 0.1, 10%. And X bar is here 6.4 minutes. So 6.4 will be multiplied by 0.10. And then you will take the whole square. This solution is given here. Say for example, Z is 1.96, S is 2.1, and A is 0.1. Desired error here. This 0.10 is this one. 10% of the sample mean, 0.10. Multiplied by 6.4. 6.4 is the average. 6.4. And then the number of observations you have to take. That means how many cycles you have to take, or how many times the jobs will be, cutting job will be repeated 42 times. If you take repeat the job for 42 times, then you are going to get a standard time, and the deviation will be only 10%, because this deviation you are expecting, and statistics doesn't deal with 100% accuracy. And second approach second approach is 1/2 minute. Here it is not percentage form. So when the expected deviations from the average is in amount or minute, then we will use the another formula. Z is divided by E whole square. E is the 0.5 number. Here 1/2 means 0.5, and Z and S is same, denominator is same. Z is 1.96, 2.1, 1.96, 2.1 divided by 0.5. This 0.5 is coming from your expectation, 0.5 minute error, 0.5. And if you are going to get 0.5 minute deviations, then you have to take 68 observations. Are you clear? We are going to study time. And number one, we have decided task to be studied. Number two, number of cycles to be observed. The second job, number of cycles. How many cycles you are going to take? Number of cycles you have taken. And here, number of cycles will be 42% when you are expecting 10% error of the average. And you are going to take 68 observations when you are thinking that the deviations will be 0.5 minutes. Is it clear how to calculate number of observations?
Yes, sir.
Now solve it then. This will be more clear. Can you solve the maximum error of 6% is 6% of the sample average, sample mean, and a maximum error 0.4 minutes. So calculate the number of observations. That means to know the standard time, how many minutes, how many cycles you have to observe. Or it is also known as sample size. Sample size, please. Solve it. So further, you are asking that how did we get
So 1.96. The 95%.
1.96? There is a, start meeting summary with AI component. What is it, Mr. Rubaid? If I start, what will happen?
স্যার এখানে একটা অপশন ছিল এআই কম্পেনিয়নের, সো এটা ট্রাই করতে যে আপনার ওখানে একটা মেসেজ চলে গেছে।
Oh, I
মাই
see.
ব্যাড।
So AI, still we are far behind from AI.
Yes, sir.
স্যার আই এম ডুইং দ্য ম্যাথ।
Okay, then how will get value of Z? You will get value of Z based on your confidence level. Confidence. If your confidence level 90%, then the value of Z is 1.65 for them.
Yes, sir.
And if your confidence is 95%, 1.96. If your confidence means how confident you are ultimately. It is
Yes, sir.
also, in other word, is known as significance. 10% here, 90% confidence means 10% level of significance. It is the language of statistics. 90% confidence means 10% level of significance. Okay, please solve it.
Done, sir.
So what is the maximum error? If error,
Sir, 6%.
so when
A
you
is 6%.
n, what is the n?
So N is 50 for first one.
And the second one
So 31.
is all right. Fardin,
Sir, আমি ক্যালকুলেট করবো, sorry.
so can anyone attest? Attest means whether Cynthia's result is same to you. Rubaiyat, Siyam Ahmed, Rifat bin Rahman. Are you here with me? So what's the answer?
Yes, sir. Same, sir.
Same. So what we are doing, we are calculating the number of cycles to observe. We have chosen that we are going to study how long does it take to cut a piece of product or shirt, and number of cycles, we know how to calculate the number of cycles. And then the performance rating. Performance rating, now we are gonna apply the concept in practical field. Now, we'll calculate the development of a standard time that involves computation of 3 times: observed time, basic time, and basic time is also known as NT, normal time, normal. Basic time, normal time, and the standard time. So we are still far behind from the standard time. We just know the number of value of n, isn't it? As you know the value of n, what we are going to do 50 times. Say for example, in our previous case, if we think that the error will be around 10%. Sorry. So you will take 50 measures. First time 2 minutes, second time 3 minutes, third time 4 minutes, fourth time 1 minute, fifth time 2 minutes, sixth time. So you are getting the values of 50 observations. So you will sum the 50 observations, 50 cycles, time of 50 cycles, and you will divide by the n. It is known as the observed time. Is clear what is observed time? You primarily decided the number of observations. Now you are calculating observed time. Observed time means that you are calculating first trial 5 minutes, second trial 4 minutes, third trial 4 minutes, fifth trial 5 minutes. So you are adding these 4 figures and divided by n. Then you will get observed time. Observed time, OT means observed time, sum of x is sum of recorded times, n is number of observations. If a job element does not occur each cycle, its average time should be determined separately, and that amount should be included in the observed time. So that means if it is not cycle, whatever the case is, we are going to take the observations of time to do a job. So you will sum and then divide by n is the observed time. Is clear what is observed time? And the normal time. To calculate the normal time, you need to know the performance rating. Performance rating. How to calculate the performance rating? Industrial engineers in every company know the performance rating of every employee, and in today's world, the IoT devices attached with the machine can say who is the best performer and what is your performance rating. This performance rating data is available to the operations manager. All the if you think that I am the operations manager of your classroom, I have the performance report, and everybody's performance report is known to me. Who is best performer, who is average performer, who is the better performer, I know. So this type of performance rating of the employees are available to the operations manager. And by observed time, they will multiply it by the performance rating. Performance rating may be 90%, 20%, 80%, 75%, even 100%, or even more than 100%. More than 100% means that you are exceptional employee. Exceptional employee. And after getting the normal time, so we have calculated number on observed time. Number 2 is normal time, and number 3 we are going to calculate standard time. How to calculate standard time? Standard time, the normal time doesn't take into account such factors as operational delays, work fatigue, getting a drink of water, going to the restroom, unavoidable delays, machine adjustment, repair, talking to a supervisor, waiting for materials or breaks. So there is an allowance, isn't it? Allowance factor. The standard time for a job is the normal time multiplied by the allowance factor. Standard time equals normal time multiplied by the allowance factor. So allowance factor means there are disruptions during the production process, and you will consider the allowance factor, then you will get the standard time. Say for an example, if the allowance is 20%, 20% means allowance factor is 1.20. There are more calculations, but for the moment, normal time multiplied by allowance factor. If allowance factor is 20%, that means normal time plus 20%. So we can just get normal time multiplied by the allowance factor 1.20. It may be, say for example, it may be 20%. 20% of normal time. 20% of normal time. That can be 20% of normal time plus normal time. Normal time NT plus 20% of normal time. You can add or you can just multiply. Normal time is 1.120. So in that case, 20% means 1.20. 20 factor. So you can use either plus form. This is not multiplication, this is plus. All right, normal time plus 20% of normal time, 20% of normal time, it is standard time. Or you can use normal time multiplied by the 1.20. In that case, multiplication will be by 1.20. So you can use any one. So standard time means normal time multiplied by allowance factor. Allowance factor. And then standard time is clear. Now, can you do it? Or just check. And in our coming lecture, we can discuss in details what is the applications of standard time. A time study of a assembly operation yielded the following observations, for which the analyst gave a performance rating. The performance rating is 1.13. Using an allowance of 20% of job time, determine the appropriate standard time for these operations. These are the observations. There are 9 observations, and the time. First trial 1.2, second trial 1.15, third trial 1.16, fourth trial 1.12, fifth trial 1.15, and the total sum is 10.35. So sum of x 10.35 divided by n is number of observations 9. And the observed time is 1.15 minutes, and normal time performance rating is 113 or 1.13. Observed time 1.1. Observed time is 1.15 and multiplied by the performance rating. Performance rating is here 1.13. Then you will get the normal time, and with normal time you will apply the allowance factor. Allowance factor is 20% allowance. 20% means 1.20. So this 1.30 multiplied by 1.20, you will get the standard time. And the applications of standard time is that application means what is the why you will calculate the standard time. You will calculate the standard time to know the, for second example, let a production factory, or time is gone out. Let a production factory runs for 10 hours every day. The product has standard time 25 minutes. If an employee produces 220 units, 20 units in a day, what is the efficiency of the employee for that particular day? Efficiency means output. His output is, he produced 20 units and his standard time is 25 minutes. 20 units multiplied by standard time divided by time work. He worked for 10 hours. 10 hours equivalent to 10 into 60 minutes, because it is in minutes. So input, you will convert input into minutes. 10 hours, 10 into 6. So 20 multiplied by 25 minutes divided by 10 multiplied by 60 minutes. And the employee efficiency is 83.3%. It is one of the applications. We will also discuss few more applications in our coming lecture. But for the moment, what we have done, we have calculated standard time, and it is under work design and measurement. Work design, when you are redesigning the work, you can redesign by using job rotation, job enrichment, job enlargement, ergonomics. And when you are redesigning, you can use several tools, and the tools includes, number 1 is method study, number 2 is motion study, number 3 is time study. Time study is known as work measurement. And when we are going to study time, we need to know how many observations, and time work measurement or time study means that how long does it take to produce a product? So to know how long does it take, you need to know how many times you will repeat the job. Number of observations. You'll calculate number of observations. After calculating the number of observations, you will calculate the observed time. Observed time means observation divided by n. Observed time. Then you will calculate the normal time. Normal time, observed time multiplied by the performance rating. Performance rating is known as the normal time, and standard time is normal. Normal time multiplied by the allowance factor. There may have some disruptions. You will deduct those. You will consider those disruptions to know the standard time, allowance factor, and then you will get the standard time. This standard time means, say for example, to produce a product, the standard time is 1.56, and the company's expenditure per minute is $2. What is the manufacturing cost or cost of production? And every company has their data. What is the average cost per minute? Average cost per minute. If the average cost per minute is $2 and it requires 1.56 minutes to produce that product, so what is the cost of manufacturing or making?
So this multiplied by the cost.
Cost $2. So to produce a product, it takes $1.56, and the company's average cost per minute is $2. So
3.2.
cost of making this product is 1.56 multiplied by $2. So you need to know the standard time to produce a product. That is known as the work measurement. All right.
Yes, sir.
So any issues?
Sir, number cycle calculation rate to issues is but practice করে দেখব না.
Maybe we can discuss next lecture again.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Easy.
Inshallah, sir.
Okay, you can leave, and only those who are late can wait for me for attendance.
Yes, sir.
Late only Rubaiyat, is it?
Yes, sir, রুবায়েত। So আমার সাথে আর অনেকজনই ছিল, মানে আমাদের ঢুকতে প্রবলেম হচ্ছিল মিটিং এ।
Why?
So maybe it's an issue with the link.
অনেকেই actually Zoom
internet
used to know.
So are you used to with the Canvas system, is it?
Sir, Meet তো just একটা link করলেই হয়ে যায়, সব automatic, so that's why people are very lenient.
Canvas, in Canvas system, is it?
হ্যাঁ, sir.
So what is the system? Can you teach me here? Because I haven't used it.
Canvas, I think, sir, যেটা লিঙ্কটা দিয়েছে, some faculties use the given link, some give their own link. That's what I've seen so far in my time. And it's always just a click away. Zoom is simple for me because I'm used to using it. But for others, it is very new.
Okay. Then we can try using Canvas system in our coming lecture Saturday.
Inshallah, sir.
Only Rubaiyat. Anybody else?
So আমারটা একটু check
স্যার
করবেন?
তাসনিম ফারিয়া।
স্যার সামিরা রহমান।
Sir, number 22, Fardin Ishaq Ahmed.
Sir, Rafsan Yasir Jisan.
22, and then Tasnim Faria.
জি স্যার।
17.
স্যার সামিরা রহমান। জি স্যার।
Samira Rahman. Samira Rahman is here, 9 serial number. And
Rafsan Yasir.
can you identify your serial number?
Number 4, sir.
But for my
11, sir.
Anybody left?
11, sir. 11.
11.
Sir. স্যার রিফাত বিন সংযোগ।
Rifat bin Shamsok, can you remember your cell number?
স্যার লাস্টের দিকে।
Last
32, sir.
32 is Shamsok, yes. Anybody left? Rifat bin Rahman. So Rifat bin Rahman is present, is it? Where is
হ্যাঁ স্যার সবার বোধহয় দাম।
Rifat bin
হ্যাঁ স্যার
Rahman?
রিফাত বিন রহমান ইয়েস স্যার লিখেছে।
So what's his cell number?
এন্ডের দিকে দেখলাম।
স্যার লাস্টের আগেরটা।
Rifat present.
হ্যাঁ দেওয়া হয়েছে।
Okay, thank you.
Sir, Simon
sir.
Rahman present.
Simon Rahman is present, all right.
Yes.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম স্যার, আমি আসছি তাহলে।
Yeah, all right.
স্যার অনেক ভালো লাগছিল আজকের ক্লাসটা। থ্যাংক ইউ, আল্লাহ হাফেজ।
You can leave, you can leave.
স্যার আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
Walaikum assalam.